Hyde, the lone man in the backfield. To throw is Breeze. It's caught by Quincy Enunwa. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. First carry for Carlos Hyde. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47. Rob Ninkovich on the stop. Second down following the run.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy caught.
Looking for the tight end, Olsen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And his guys will take over at their own 44-yard line. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. That one was intended for John Brown. And that'll bring up second down.
On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
Defense really showing respect to the deep ball here, playing off the receivers. Rodgers will try again on second down. Dumping it off for Johnson. David Johnson on his way. Touchdown, Packers. David Johnson, 55 yards. And the Packers have taken the early lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who is a complete guy, who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Now, after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So out now come the Redskins. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities. Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Breeze now on first down. And caught left side, Olsen. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second down for them.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way. Breeze
now on first down. He's got time. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A little bit of ground to make up for the offense as they face a 2nd and 11. On second down, here's Rodgers. And this is caught. It's Greg Olsen. 11 yards on the pickup, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. Greg Olsen was the intended target. Now 4th down.
I have to say that was a surprise call on 3rd and inches. I thought they'd try and run the football there, but you got to believe they thought they'd surprise the defense and pick up something downfield, but that one goes incomplete.
So in their own territory, but they only need a few inches, so they're going to opt to go for this thing. We'll see. Maybe a surprise pass or run. What will they do? We're about to find out. 4th down. And he'll get nothing out of that one. They'll give him a yard on the play, and they're able to convert here on 4th and inches.
And this is where an offensive lineman really earns a living. You're on your own side of the field, but you only need a few inches, and you saw the good blocking at the point of attack. That is a well-earned 1st down.
They come up in an offset eye. On 1st down, Rodgers. Over the middle here to Brown. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. And he finds a man with a crossing route. And give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Second quarter about to get underway with the Packers in possession of the football. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Wesley Woodyard there on the tackle. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point, you've got to win at the point of attack, and on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
So the D-line's going to spread out. Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. Touchdown, Packers. John Brown, a 15-yard touchdown grab. And the Packers add on to their lead. And he's a little bit on the shorter side as a receiver. Maybe sometimes for the defense, tough to find the little guys, right?
Yeah, sometimes they get lost in the traffic, but usually what it means is that rather than just winning with height or even speed, They use their quickness to find a way to get open.
Well, tall, short, wide, skinny, whatever. There it results in a touchdown. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on. Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front.
And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Throwing now is Rodgers. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
I know they don't like to hear it when they get to a certain age, but then you have to start to use your skills, your wiles, right? Your mind to beat guys to the football. And getting your toes tapped in bounds definitely qualifies as that, doesn't it?
The veteran showing he still has the agility. Caught on the left side by Benjamin. 12 yards that time for number 12 as they move the chains. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. The defensive line disperses a little bit here, maybe expecting a pass. Throwing on first down is Rodgers. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
And a nice job defensively to keep him out of the end zone. He was trying to get his 2nd touchdown already in the first half.
They had that one earlier, was bidding for a 2nd. And they're going to go soft on the corners. They come out here in the eye. The play clock's running down. And with that, it's 2-minute warning time here. The NFL on EA Sports. They come up in an offset eye. 2nd down, the ball on the 2 here, 2nd and goal. And he'll take this one in for a Packer touchdown. David Johnson with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Packers add 6 to their lead. And he's able to put it through. Now after the touchdown, it's Sturgis to send it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you will.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Terrell Suggs coming in from that outside linebacker spot. He gets him down for a loss of 5. Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third. And the offense looks to pick up the first here on third after that incompletion.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done. And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drought.
So 4th and 15, but the offense is staying out there to go for it. So here we go on 4th down with Breeze. He's going to try and go deep again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Bye-bye.
Charles and I settled here in the booth. This should be a fun one. Madden Ultimate Team matchup as you get a look at some of the stars here of today's game. Let's get right to it.
Just fucking there.
Caleb Sturgis now to do the honors and get us started. And with towels waving, we're underway from Heinz Field.
Ass kicked.
Kicked it out of bounds. That's a big penalty.
And this is where the rest of the team turns and stares at the kicker and says, you have one job. Execute it.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he's got some space here. Cut back to the left. David Johnson on his way.
That is so unfair. That is so fucking unfair.
60 yards. And his guys have taken a first quarter lead. The first play from scrimmage. Some of these people haven't even taken their seat.
That's what is commonly known as a fast start. That's what my horse racing friends would say. They caught a flyer out of the gate. And guess what? They're in the lead now.
It's up and good, and it'll give his guys a 7-0 lead. Gano now following the touchdown here to kick it away.
This is so unfair. He has a fucking 98. How the hell am I gonna win?
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right
I'm
side.
chance to go to the Super Bowl.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. Dumping it off for Johnson. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
Even in today's NFL, when we think of the tight end position now as really a glorified wide receiver, we're still asking a lot of those guys. They have to block as well, and every now and then, they don't come down with the football.
Rodgers will try again on 2nd down.
Bro, everybody's covered.
This will be incomplete.
Oh my god.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
Bro, quit the game. I need this W.
On play action, now Rodgers finding time. Now he's going to throw deep back over the middle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Play down. Oh my fucking god.
And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good.
He'll be disappointed with that effort.
Now this offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground, all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we?
If I win gold Super Bowl, nigga had 98 overall.
Big time jaunt. Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, the play-action pass could very well be open.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now.
This is all 98, so that's insane.
They come out here in the eye. They stay on the ground on 1st with Johnson. Got a pretty big hole as he's down to about the 40. Just what you want on a foot.
I bet you his messages are private, but whatever, I'll try. I don't know what is that him?
Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going.
This nigga's fucking gonna kick my ass.